Most software programs give you the ability to undo your last action or actions, which is great for fixing mistakes or trying something different. And in most programs, the keyboard shortcut for undoing an action is Command-Z or Control-Z on a PC. So if I delete a clip or series of clips, I can just press Command-Z and they're back. But what if I wanted to go back to a point 5 minutes ago or 15 minutes ago? Fortunately, Premiere Pro makes this relatively easy by using the History panel. The History panel can be found within the Project Panel window. If I go to my double arrows, it's usually the last one in the list here. If it's not, you can come up to Window and then just make sure you have a check mark next to History. So here in the History panel, I see a list of all of my last actions, up to 32 actions maximum. And we won't have the same actions because each individual user has his or her own history based on the specific edits that he or she made. So just follow along with your own History panel, although it will look different than mine. I've still provided a sequence in the 6.4 bin for you to play around with if you want to, though. Down here at the bottom, it'll tell you how many possible undos you have available to you, which is based on how many recent actions you've done, up to 32. And if you've recently opened the project, this number will reset. So accessing your History panel is only as good as the session you've most recently been working in. So you can see your most recent edits, and that allows you to methodically step back in time. So maybe you tried out something that didn't work very well, maybe you messed things up and got out of sync, or maybe you just liked the edit the way it was before that you tried a bunch of other things. All you need to do is simply select the point in time before you made the mistake. So you can go one step at a time back through history, and you can also go forwards, so it will actually redo each action. Or if you know that you need to get back to a specific point in time, you can just click up at that moment. So fairly recently, I extracted a portion of my sequence and I want it back. It was several moves ago, so I'm just going to come to my History panel and find out when that was, and then go back one move before that. So I think it's right here, extract. So I'm just going to go one above that. And you can see that my extracted clips come back into my timeline. Okay, I can keep going back if I want, or I can go forward in time. I want to talk about what is white in here and what is grayed out. Anything grayed out is something that I have undone, and I can go back and do them again until I actually make a change. So right now, I have my extracted clips back in the timeline, and I'm just going to do something very simple. Let's go ahead and just do a little trim here. Watch what happens in my History panel. Everything that was grayed out disappeared. So now I'm committed to this particular edit and this history going forward. You can sort of think of it like a parallel timeline that you can't go back and change. So everything I had done before is now no longer accessible to me. Okay? So needless to say, the History panel is a really useful tool, whether you just need to go back and check how you got to where you are, or even more so if you need to jump back in time and access an earlier point of your editing process.